What are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit.
I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway.
You...
It's a major.
¿Qué pasa con eso? ¿Qué pasa con el español?
¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás? Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr. Rogers. You've tuned into the Man Chatter Podcast. Oh yeah, we back, baby. Well, it's just me this time, guys, because my good old co-host took an impromptu trip to Niagara Falls. I'm like, yo, you going to Niagara Falls, bro? And then I look it up on Google Maps. It's like 3 hours away. In my mind, it was he lives so far from it. It's like an all-day thing. It's still 7 hours of driving, but it's been well documented on this show that this motherfucker loves to drive. He'll just pick up and go anywhere. So yeah, so I'm holding it down today just by myself. It's all good. I talk. Mostly it's me talking anyway, right? If you're watching this show, you already know, or listening to it. But yeah, man. So a little recap of the weekend. Had some Mexican food yesterday. It was delicious. This is obviously gonna be like a stereotypical rant real quick. It's kind of weird because I live in a very red county, right? And everybody around me, almost most people around me are Republicans, right? And, you know, build a wall in that whole slogan. But it was full because the county I live in is mostly Caucasians, mostly white. The Mexican restaurant was mostly full. It's like, isn't that ironic, yo? Like, then don't you guys want to build a wall around this delicious guacamole and refried beans and tacos and cilantro and all these spices and seasonings? It's kind of weird that you're in here, though, having a baby shower. Bringing in the next generation to not be so hateful and angry, I hope. But yeah, man, that was weird. So today made some Asian cuisine here at home, figuring it all out. But yeah, look, just want to recap that real quick. I didn't really do much else. It's been raining, just kind of been, you know, quarantining still. Go here and there, but try to stay away from crowds for the most part. So I want to give a huge shout out to one of my, and he listens to this, and again, I've done this before, to my boy Danny, aka the sneaker teacher, aka D Granada, aka the Sixth Borough. Listen, man, this dude has customized some Air Force Ones for me that I had just laying around, right? They're used. Next time I'm gonna send him some new ones, some new Air Maxes or something. And he customized them to become hurricane sneakers, right? And my expectations, I thought it was just going to be green and orange, right? Like, I didn't think of, like, drawings on it or all the national championships. Shout out to the asterisk national championship for 2002, that late-ass pass interference. But this dude blew my motherfucking mind. The shit he put on there, I knew what he was thinking with the national championships because I've seen his hat with all the world titles for the Yankees. So I already knew where that was going. And there are a lot of similarities between the Yankees and the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes and the Yankees are easy to be hated, right? We're the evil empire. We're the team that you don't want to see win because we're the little school that shouldn't, right? That's always been the thing. They're a little private school in Coral Gables, and they get these phenomenal talents that the last 15, 20 years, they haven't developed at UM, right? But they've gone off to be amazing pros, Hall of Famers, you name it. You got Greg Olson, solid tight end, possibly is a mixture between possibly and probably. Greg Olson, potential Hall of Famer. Jeremy Shockey, Hall of Famer in my book. Colin Wenzel's in prison now, so that's not the thing I want to root. I'm gonna go for. So yeah, man, I got my dog under the table, being all doggish. But yeah, so he created these shoes, and I see them before the game last night because I'm recording this September 27th, right? The Hurricanes played Florida State last night at Joe Robbie, Sun Life, whatever the fuck they call it now. Don't care, don't know. They change it every couple of years because it's all financed and different corporations pay for the naming rights or whatever. So, hey man, what are you doing? So he comes out with these shoes that I've put up on both of my social medias at Real Ben 36 and the Man Chatter podcast, right? And it blew my fucking mind. The dude is talented, and he's just starting out, right? Like he just started this as a hobby, and this is what I was talking about on previous podcasts with John, right? This is the creativity I'm talking about. Like it's picking up a hobby that makes you creative, that opens up this side of your brain, and gives you an avenue to display your talents, right? It's not about starting like a OnlyFans or being an Instagram thought or trying to just be an IG comedian, but never actually stepping on stage, because comedy is a talent, but just trying to do funny shit that your friends think is cool is not the same. But yeah, man, it blew my fucking mind. Like I'm so proud of that dude. He's only gonna get better because he's gonna pay like he's his own worst critic, right? He says like, yo, you can see the brush strokes. Like I can't see no fucking brush strokes, bro. Shit looks amazing. And he's only gonna improve because of that, right? Because you're your own worst critic. Like and I told him, I was like, my bad. At the beginning of this podcast, 140 episodes ago, I would literally record podcasts just to get one in while I'm like laying in bed recording it on my phone and I'm yawning, right? Like the standard that you set for yourself constantly evolves because you learn more and you learn how to approach things differently, right? Like you watch YouTube videos or you talk to other people who have similar tastes and talent, and you see, okay, this is a different way to do it. Like I'll watch, like for my podcast and my shit talking, like I'll watch like Flagrant 2 pod with Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh, and I'll talk, or Joe Rogan, or all these things, all these podcast icons, I guess, that, okay, maybe I should approach it this way. It gives me different ways to view things. And, you know, just doing this, like with John, like him thinking of doing the background with OBS and then us switching from Zoom to OBS back to Zoom when Zoom got better software. Like you just learn and improve. You know what I mean? You adapt and overcome. So, yeah, man, that shit blew my fucking mind. And then I'm so hyped off the shoes. Like I'm halfway through the game last night and it's halftime and I think it was like 38-10 or some shit. Miami's blowing them out the water, and all I'm thinking is like, where the fuck am I gonna wear these shoes? Like, it's gonna be weird having to wear these out because if you've been to my house or know what my property looks like, it's mostly sand and dirt. So I'm gonna have to like wrap them up in plastic bags individually, walk out to my truck, and then walk out somewhere like, and then make sure to take off the plastic bags and drive with them. Like I'm gonna be super careful with these shits because they're a work of art. Like salute to my boy, man. Salute to my brother. So proud of you, bro. So yeah. I alluded to it, 38-10 at half. It was an ass whooping. Like, it wasn't, like, there's that part of me that, like, doesn't want to shit all over Florida State. But they beat us 7 in a row, and they were talking all that shit. Like, when we lost 24-23, I think, 5-6 years ago with Brad Kaya, and it was, like, the block at the Rock. The Hard Rock Stadium, that's what it's called now. Block at the Rock and all that shit. So, nah, fuck all y'all got. Listen, you have. I can't. It's hard not to talk to me because Miami struggled for the last 20 years. But when you see Florida State almost I want to say in a worse position because Miami, like, they'll lose to teams they shouldn't, right? But they always play hard against Florida State. It's rarely, if ever, a blowout. Even when they had Jameis Winston, it came down to like 1 or 2 possessions, and it was still tight, right? So that's the rival. So I expected more from Florida State. They had 2 drives in that entire game, and that was it. Like, that was – and it's hard not to get hyped off Miami because I've seen not this kind of performances, like, because I haven't seen in a long time a quarterback like De'Ara King play for the University of Miami. Got to go back to, like, so far as, like, an athletic quarterback, like De'Ara King. Like, you had leaders like Ken Dorsey. I think Kyle Wright could have been a monster if he didn't have all those concussions. Stephen Morris was solid, just inconsistent. But De'Ara King is probably one of the best quarterbacks we've had in the last 20 years. And that shows that is really that and Rhett Lashley. And the fact that Manny Diaz doesn't really get enough credit for firing all his offensive coaches last year for the most part, and then recognizing that was the problem and improving and improving it in every facet. Receivers still got to get a little better, a little inconsistent, but I think we got the two of the best tight ends in the country. Definitely the best tight end in the country, and Brevin Jordan. Will Mallory doesn't get as much time because of that, right? I think Mallory's a solid backup, but you got Cameron Harris, Jalen Knighton. You have Don Chaney Jr., 2 freshmen. Those last 2 names I mentioned. It ended up being 52-10. De'Aaron King had 2 touchdowns, 267 yards, but just completely controlled the game. Love the pace of the offense. Definitely something that Miami fans have been crying for the last 10 years, probably. That spread offense ready to go. Find the weakness, pick it, and go. This pace is insane. I think that at half they had almost 50 plays. So they completely destroyed the Florida State team. Not quite sure about the targeting shit because I don't really want to focus on the negative. We saw that the penalties were a problem. Hopefully you have Jalen Phillips for the next game because he got ejected from this one for 2 unsportsmanlike conducts. But I think Gervin Hall is suspended for the first half of the next game because of his targeting. My dog is acting super weird. What is up with you, man? My bad. All right. But yeah, 52-10. It's the biggest win in the rivalry's history, the most points scored in the rivalry's history. And it's just been 2 weeks, though, is when you find out. It's been nice. It's been nice. And then tonight, actually, as I'm recording this, the first half already started of Miami versus Boston. I like to watch the second half because the first half, I think, is just people get tentative unless there's a huge lead. And you know what I mean? It's a big game. So I like to watch the second half because basketball is a game of runs anyway. And 4 out of the 5 games have come down to the last possession, except for that other game that Boston won. So we'll see what's going to happen. I think Boston played the hardest they can play in the last game because desperation. You don't want to lose 4-1 to a team that's supposedly less talented than you. But I think obviously I'm going to record the second half of this tonight after the game. So this prediction could easily be changed. I don't know if a team can keep up that pace for 48 minutes and to play outside or beyond of who they are. You know what I mean? I think it's hard to play at 180% for 48 minutes. And especially in a game like this, you're probably going to shorten the bench. I don't know how much you can expect from Gordon Hayward and shit like that, but all of this could be for naught, and I could just be we're coming back after the break that you won't know anything about because it'll just pick up right after. And I could be talking about Game 7. I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. Boston's a good team. I don't hate Boston the way I used to because I hate Paul Pierce. And listen, Paul Pierce there's that part of me where I want to go off and rant, but I also don't want to give this dude energy. So I'm just gonna say, fuck Paul Pierce. Fuck you and your no muscle having body. Fuck everything you stand for. Don't like you. I think your takes are terrible. And the fact that they give you a segment called Truth Hurts is the most oxymoronic shit I've ever heard, because nothing you say is the truth, and it only hurts people who believe the truth is possible. You spew out some bullshit. You said that people in your era weren't afraid of LeBron. Son, when LeBron had nobody, he pushed you to 6 games, right? When LeBron had one partner in Dwayne Wade and a hell of a third string, you were up 3-2, and then he went 40. He had a 45 triple-double on you at the Garden. You had your chances. As soon as he got any kind of teammate, which he never, ever had in Cleveland, when you were so dominant, you did nothing. So go eat an entire bag of dicks. Fuck you forever, in the words of Dave Chappelle. Go fuck yourself forever because your takes are terrible. Then, it doesn't factor into nothing. People literally laugh in your face when you said that you were better than Dwayne Wade and you would have been a year ago, you would have been a better winger and a better player with LeBron, but now nobody was afraid of him. You're a fucking bitch. You're a hypocrite. Go fuck yourself forever, 100% of the time, all the time, for motherfucking ever. We'll be back in a minute, man. I keep saying we. It's just me recording. I'll come back in a minute, which will actually be like probably 2 hours from now because the second half of the game, and I'll be watching it. And hopefully I come back with a Miami Heat Dwayne Wade jersey on. Because right now I'm revving that turnover chain. Soon to get the new turnover chain because that shit is beautiful. The state of Florida, West Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade, and Broward County, and green and orange. Mwah, fucking amazing. But yeah, this first half, fuck you, Paul Pierce. Fuck you. Listen, man, you motherfucking see it. You see the shirt. Miami, he pulled it out, obviously, recording a little later than I wanted to. Just had some stuff going on. So, you know what I mean? We make it work. But yeah, man, that game was nerve-wracking. Then Bam Adebayo, the future, probably in the next 5 years, probably in the top 3 conversation for best power forward / center in the game. Not all time, I'm not going there, but you know what I mean? His versatility, he's Anthony Davis-esque. So I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup in the finals against the Lakers. Man, hadn't been to the finals since 2014. Lose LeBron, one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, and you get to make it back. You look at the Bulls after Jordan, dead, right? They had that one run real quick with Derrick Rose, for the most part, dead. You look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, can't win more than 20 games in a season without LeBron James. Pat Riley is a fucking legend, is the GOAT executive, 100%. He is the reason why the Knicks suck, unrelated, but that's just, you know what I mean? The Knicks took a terrible deal trading him to the Heat, so thank you for that. New York, forever grateful. Sorry, Danny. But yeah, man, pulled it out. Won the series 4-2. I'm going to watch the fourth quarter again because I'm stunned at how it happened. Like I said, man, I called it earlier in the show, right? Because obviously I did this one in 2 parts, so before and after. Boston couldn't keep up that tempo. Boston couldn't keep up that pressure. It's hard to keep that up for 48 minutes. They had a good run in the third, but once Bam took over and dunked on Tice and did the wraparound pass to Jimmy Butler, it became a different animal. It became something that honestly I wasn't prepared to see, right? Like if I'm being honest with you, because this team doesn't have those names, right? It doesn't have a Jason Tatum. It has a Tyler Hero. It doesn't have a Marcus Smart. It has a Duncan Robinson. It doesn't have a Kemba Walker. It has a Goran Dragic. It doesn't have – I don't think they have any vets on that team, really. I think that's the problem with Boston. I guess Gordon Hayward, you could count as a vet, but he's not a playoff vet. Like, he's a regular season vet. It's different, right? Like, you see the difference with Andre Iguodala. You know, I think it's like his 18th season in the league, and he still gives you those quality minutes, gives you 15 points off the bench, makes and takes all of the threes that he shot up. It was just that veteran leadership in that veteran group. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and be fanboying out because we're going up against one of the GOATs of the GOAT of this era. 10 straight NBA finals. No, not 10 straight because they didn't go last year. 10 NBA finals. He's 3-6. To go to the finals that many times is crazy. I have nothing but love and respect for LeBron James. He's one of my favorite players of all time. His unselfishness, how he makes everybody better. I mean, he took Delonte West to an NBA Finals. You know what I mean? Like, I have like a nervous, joyful anxiety about this because playing with house money now. Like, we weren't supposed to be here. We're the underdogs. You know what I mean? Just like Jimmy Butler says, just like Bam Adebayo says, we're the underdogs. We're the kids that aren't supposed to be in the dance, right? And now we go up against the baddest, the best. It's going to be – look, Lakers are an incredibly talented team. They're top-heavy with 2 perennial all-stars, future Hall of Famers, and the Mount Rushmore number 2 on the list, 1 or 2, depending how you want to put it, of all time. And it's hard to do to beat him. But you just kind of hope the role players continue playing beyond themselves, or actually, I can't even say beyond themselves anymore. I think that's just the character of who they are. You see the stories of Duncan Robinson reaching out to the Ringer his senior year in Michigan because he thinks he's going to be a sports reporter or do something with media communications. And now can't miss from three. I mean, the man's shooting up from everywhere. I didn't see this kid coming at all. Not even gonna not even gonna say, yeah, I was embedded in the sports reporters, and of course I saw Duncan Robinson. No, this guy's a marksman, a specialist. I'm more surprised when he misses than when he makes now, because every shot looks exactly the same. It's impressive. Tyler Heroes got heart, had 11 in the fourth quarter. I kind of want to go back to shitting on Paul Pierce because I just saw that he said, first of all, he said some of the most outrageous things, that he's a better wing shooter than Klay Thompson. Please, sir. Klay Thompson is second or third best shooter of all time. You're not even in the top 15. Real quick, Paul, go fuck yourself again. You're not in the top 3 at your position. So on a 15-man roster, you wouldn't even be on a squad, right? Of all time. Like, if we're talking like LeBron James is on that squad, I would put maybe Dwayne Wade third behind Jordan and Kobe. If you want to debate James Harden, fine, but I think you got to go with players like this, right? If you really want to have the discussion, because I grew up in the Jordan era, you got to have and believe that players can transcend eras, right? I think Dwayne Wade can transcend eras. Because it's not like the 3 wasn't a thing in the 90s like it is now. And Dwayne Wade never really developed a 3. So and James Harden wouldn't last in that physical time. But if you're not top 3 in your position, you can't make a 15-man roster all the time, then you shouldn't be in a conference. You shouldn't be – you're basically a me, but with NBA experience. You know what I mean? Like, I can talk shit about these players at whatever, but I still acknowledge their talent. For you to say that you're better than these players, that you're clearly not, just comes off petty, and you come off really insecure, man. And take it from a guy who knows his insecurities. It just seems weird. Like, again, like your segment is called Truth Hurts, and it's just weird. For you to say that Tyler Hero's not going to average more than 20, like, how the fuck would you know? You don't know what he's going to do. He dropped 37 in a conference finals game. Like, what? Like, let's enjoy that moment and say that's historic, man. Like, if he never does it again, his stats are still up there. And it's not a fluke because he still gave you 11 in the fourth of a closeout game against, if you want to go man for man, possibly a more talented team of players, not a more talented team. Miami's got the more talented team because it's all capital team. There's no here go, you go, here. It's always unselfish. If you watch them, you had Bam that was giving up dunks for threes because that's you know what I mean? Like, it's an unselfish team. I'm hyped for game 1 on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. But it's, first of all, so today was the first day, because I'm off today. Today was the first day that I've seen First Take in its entirety, right? Because I'm thinking, all right, they're going to talk basketball, game 1 in the conference finals coming. And they talked the Dallas Cowboys for 3 segments. And the Dallas Cowboys lost. I get it, man. Look, it's media, and they do their thing. But it was just strange. Like, that's not – I could give a fuck about the Cowboys. It's only week 3. This first 4 weeks is basically preseason. And the Jets haven't even started the season. But like, can't get, and all they talked about was, again, the argument between MJ and LeBron of who's the greatest of all time. We've had the debate, bro. It's good. We're set. 1 and 2. I'm all good with that. There's no Jordan's impact on the game, Jordan's impact on shoe wear, on being sneakerheads. For Jordan really wasn't even a thing. Jordan is an icon that LeBron probably will never be, because he's constantly being compared to the man who completely evolved the game that they made the Jordan rules for, right? Which is the NBA that we take advantage of and we shit on now. Remember, Jordan couldn't get past Detroit till they made it softer because they recognize his talent. So that's got to be acknowledged too. And it's not diminishing anything from Jordan, but that actually happened, right? So, yeah, and it got softer and it evolved just like the NFL is softer and it gets evolved, because you don't want people with brain trauma at 35 blowing their fucking brains out. You know what I mean? Shooting themselves in the chest like Junior Seau so they can study his brain. Like, the game evolves when you have new information. Your brain and the rules are set to evolve. That's just what happens. So I don't know, man. Paul Pierce is a weird dude, bro. Paul Pierce is a weird dude. He's just gonna be one of those guys. He's more Skip Bayless than I don't. Yeah, I guess he's just more Skip Bayless than I thought he was gonna be. But I never liked Paul Pierce as a player anyway, so I'm not, and I hate him more as an analyst because that's not even analysis for him to say that he's better than. No, you're not. You're not better than any other guys you compared yourself against. You were a good player, but you didn't do anything before you had KG and Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo and Kendrick Perkins. You didn't do shit. I didn't see you carrying teams anywhere past the first round. And if you did, it was forgettable. Nobody talked about you. You know what I mean? You had Antoine Walker tippy toes, but hey, guess what? For him to get his title, where'd he come? To Miami, bitch. Understand that. Yes, and that was a Dwayne Wade fourth year in the league. Which with an older Shaq, right, like on the cusp of leaving his prime. You know what I mean? But remember those defensive stops in that finals championship, it was Zoe. So it's not like you and Antoine Walker did a lot, bro. Antoine Walker, to get his ring, came here. And I will give credit to Shannon Sharp, what he said. Is there another player who's gotten more mileage out of one championship than Paul Pierce? Paul Pierce won after they lost to, I forgot which way it went. I don't know if Boston won first or LA won first. Whatever. However you want. No, Boston won first and then LA lost. And then LA beat them in the second time in the matchup. Listen, you couldn't hold Kobe's jockstrap, right? And if you want to put Kobe at the 3, you're not even in the tryout, right? Like, you're nowhere in this conversation. I don't want to hear from you, bro. It's the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers and the NBA Finals, and I'm fucking hyped, man. I'm enjoying these games, watching it with no crowd, just getting to enjoy the game, almost like watching the highest level of practice, but the games matter. It's the highest version of rec league YMCA basketball with the best talented players, and I'm expecting a 6 or 7 game series. I think it's gonna take LeBron. You know, I'm not gonna even try to lie to you that I'm gonna pick the Heat. I'm gonna root for the Heat. I'll cheer. I'm rocking with them. If they take it 7 and they get 3 games against this team that nobody else did in the West, I'm fucking ecstatic. And then we toss the ball up and see what happens. But you can't count against the GOAT. But I just think Miami has a better overall team. I don't know outside. Maybe this is my own bias because I've watched maybe one game of the Lakers, and it's all I see is AD and LeBron, which is, again, future Hall of Famers, and one is the second best player of all time. So I'm excited about it. And yeah, man, it starts Wednesday. 5th seed versus the 1 seed. Already took out a 1 seed before. Actually, the team with the best overall record, and we gentlemen swept them. Besides that one Chris Middleton game, it would have been a sweep. So people diminishing and just thinking it's going to be a walkover, man. You haven't been watching this Heat team. They don't fucking quit, bro. It is the proudest I've been of a Heat team since before LeBron. Because, like, when we had LeBron, and I talked about it earlier, when we had LeBron, it was expected you were going to be in the finals, right? You were going to be in the finals, and you were probably going to win it. That's kind of what you knew was going to happen. Should have won 4, only won 2. Well, no, the 4th one now it was a wrap because LeBron was at the door anyway. A little tension between him and Riley got to be too much. But yeah, man, it's gonna be. I don't know. I have like nervous excitement. I'm like all shaky and like wiry, like I feel it in my nerves and my fucking bones and shit. Didn't expect to be here, and yeah, man, I can't say another player on the Lakers that's like better than anyone on the Heat. Caruso, hair club for men type dude, solid, energetic player. Rajon Rondo, solid. I guess KCP's all right, but we'll see how they do up against the zone. But because I guess AD is the most consistent mid-range shooter. LeBron can give you, you know what I mean? Can give you solid, but they're scorers. They're not shooters. I don't know how many shooters LA has. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Bam versus AD matchup because I think two Kentucky players, not grads because they left school early, two Kentucky alums to go up against each other and Tyler Hero. Damn, that speaks very highly of John Calipari, man. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying to contain myself because game one hasn't happened. We'll see what takes place. I think Eric Spoelstra is 1,000 times better coach than who's the guy for who the fuck is the coach for the guy that used to coach in Indiana that Miami always outcoached? Oh, Frank Vogel. Yeah. Got LeBron in his revenge season after being injured last year. So, I mean, LeBron was going to take I think LeBron takes any coach to the NBA Finals. So, for Spoelstra to do it with this team, to beat the teams he's beaten, where he's been, actually in every series, they were the lowest ranked seed because they were the 5th seed when they swept the Pacers. They were the 5th seed when they swept the number 1 seed, Milwaukee Bucks. And Boston was a 3rd seed. So every team they played against has been the higher seed. They've been the only team to upset anybody consistently. So that's something. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. But I wanted to end it with this, man. I don't understand hypocritical cancel culture because not LeBron. Well, the LeBron of movies, The Rock, came out and endorse Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? Again, everybody has the freedom of choice and they can pick who they want. I don't care when celebrities endorse Donald Trump because I don't think a celebrity sways me one way or the other. So I'm not I don't like Kobe Covington because he's an act, right? Like he's a heel that became the heel. Like I still root for George Masvidal even as he says ignorant shit and has a different point of view and perspective. But I'm not going to stop being a fan of George Masvidal as far as the fighter. I'm just not going to get my political opinions from any fighter, right? Just like people bitch and complain that they don't want their political opinion swayed or talked about when it's to the left of them being on the right. Just who the fuck cares, right? But, dude, I read the comments because as soon as he did that, I didn't even, watch the video of what he said. I just saw what he posted, the comments, the caption, and then the comments. Oh, you're an oh, you're such a oh, you're a cuck. Oh, well, you unfollowed. Oh, this, oh, that. I was I'm trying to think, who do you got left if you're gonna cancel all the celebrities that don't like your boo? Who are you gonna watch? I don't who cares, dude? It doesn't matter. It's literally at the end of the day, it's one vote. I don't think in this climate, a speech by The Rock sways one person over the other. Ah, man, now I see it. Now I'm going to be gentle and kind and have a heart or whatever it was that he talked about. I didn't watch the video because I'm an individual and I can make up my own fucking mind. It was so stupid, dude. It was so stupid. I watched it. I was like, oh, he's going to get hate for this shit. And we talked about it with my friends. Yeah, it's dumb as a celebrity or somebody famous to come out and have this kind of speech, right? Because you're going to get that hate. But I think it also speaks volumes to the character of who they are, that they know their position or situation can change because just like Jordan said, Republicans buy shoes too. Republicans and conservatives and Trumpians buy movie tickets too. So he's risking that. I think when you're risking the bag, as they say, I think that speaks more volume to your character. And cancel culture is so stupid, man. It's so fucking dumb. Who cares? Goodyear doesn't endorse Trump or doesn't like Trump. Oh, let's cancel him. Let's let that shit go, man. Literally means nothing. You're getting upset about shit that means the least amount. And this is coming from a person who did it all the fucking time when I was really on social media heavy, ranting on Facebook and all that shit. It changes nothing. It means nothing. You're getting yourself all worked up and starting to have more conspiracies built up in your mind that change nothing, dude. Just take a breath and chill out, man. Think about stuff critically and think about how angry you get about things you see on social media. I don't even respond to my friends that want to have to try to debate on the other side because facts don't matter to you and you're just conflating two different things that you heard some random fucking dude on the internet tell you. hey, here's the thing. Don't ever think you're going to get breaking news from me and I'm going to change your political opinion in any way, because it's not going to happen, right? Like, that's not why you should listen to a podcast. You get it for information, and then you seek other information and then critically, and then make up your opinion and make up your mind. Don't just be told one thing like, oh, that sounds right, I'm going to roll with it. It's not how it works, man. It's not how any of this shit works. But actually, I take that back. That's exactly how it works. But that's not how it should work. You should be able to think critically like your teachers taught you in school and figure out for yourself what the truth is. Not be given the truth and be given different. Like, I saw a quick 3-minute video where they showed a supporter or whatever of a doctored video, right? Like, oh, this video is doctored, right? Nah, it can't be. Showed them the doctored video. Like, well, it could be true. Mind you, just showed you that it's fake. They showed you it was somebody else that was sleeping. But you're like, nah, man, it could be true. It's still funny, though. Nah, bro. Then I saw that. I was like, oh, we got nothing else to talk about. Like, it's no point going back and forth, because I can show, like, one thing is like reading an article, because first of all, you probably don't reading an article and like hearing CNN or MSNBC say it or whatever the fuck. But then here showing you the actual video of what this person actually said and how this was actually doctored and how this was, and then you see all that and you're like, nah, but still don't believe it. Then I got nothing else, bro. So I was like, there's no point going back and forth. There's no point. If I have to explain to you why it doesn't make sense that the cops for the Breonna Taylor case said that they were police, but you have Kenneth Walker calling 911 saying they're breaking into us, then I don't have anything for you. If you have the fact that Breonna Taylor was shot 6 times, but in the police reports there's no injuries, but you still want to dispute it, then I got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got nothing else. I'm all set. And shout out to the young lady that said all your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. That's some real shit across the board. Just because we look alike doesn't mean we're the same. Just because you want to think I have to follow this one person that you do agree with on your side is valid, but the millions of people that argue against it because they have that same information you do, I got nothing else for you, man. But yeah, that's all. I just wanted to end it with that. Because going forward, like, touch on it lightly. Like I said, obviously I'll have my co-host back, good old Jonathan Vallejo, back from his trip from Niagara Falls. Shout out to that, though, by the way. This motherfucker just picks up and goes to Niagara Falls. His son, one of his kids is heading off to the military. Excited about that, man, following in his father's footsteps. Obviously made the smarter choice. Because me and John's dumbass chose the Army. But again, it gave us the life that we had, so there's that side of it. But yeah, man, excited for the future. Hope 2020 has a better season finale than this mid-season shit, because it's a little wild, bro. All right, man. I'll catch y'all on the next time. I don't know why I'm saluting, because you'll probably just be listening to this on the podcast. And again, as always, yo, Danny, thank you so much for listening to every show, man, and then calling me after to give me critiques on how I can improve. I appreciate that shit. We keep each other humble, keep each other tight, man, and keep each other hungry, man. The family, man. La familia for life. I'll holla, man. Catch y'all next time. Man Chatter, Ben Borges. I'll be back with Jonathan on Wednesday, most likely. We'll see what his fucking plan is, unless he chooses to move to Canada randomly. So we'll see what's good. Peace out, guys. And let's go Heat.